Hey guys! Today we're going to do Module 7, Lesson 14. And today we are kind of changing the topic up a little bit. We've been doing so much measuring with coins and counting money and dollars. And today we're going to go back to using your ruler and using tools that we have to measure in inches. And then we're going to do some centimeters, and then from there we're going to go on to other kinds of measurement. So today there's a couple things you're going to need in order to be able to do this lesson with me. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need an adult to help you make a 1-inch square. Now, of course, I'm sure your parents are as busy as I am over here, and so if they are not able to help you do this, it'll just take a couple of minutes, then just wait, okay, and do a different assignment, and then come back when they're able to help you do this, all right? But when they're ready, all I did was I went out to my recycle bin and I pulled out a piece of pizza box. But you could use a cereal box or anything that's a little bit thicker than paper, because you just want to make a 1-inch square that you can use today to measure with. So then I thought, okay, well, guess what? I can't find the kids' rulers around here anywhere. So, and I can't go to school and get my ruler. So I'm going to have to print one off the internet. But in the meantime, I was digging around. I found something. I found like this sewing thing. I don't even know where it came from. But anyway, I just used it. And I'm going to show your parents what I'm doing here. I'm really just drawing a 1-inch square. So I made a mark at this corner. I made a mark at this corner. Then I came down 1 inch. I'm going to have to, it may not be perfect 90-degree angles, but I'm going to try to get it as close as I can. And then I came down here. Okay, and now you can see I have my 4 corners. Now I just need like a straight edge or something. So I'm going to lay this down for a minute, parents, and I'm just going to connect the corners. You know what I'm doing here, but I'm doing it in real time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that's all I did. Now I'm going to cut it out. And you only need 1 today. So once you have your 1, you can put this pizza box back in the recycling bin or wherever you got it or whatever you're cutting up and using. Okay, I'm all about making stuff at home. All right, I have a 1-inch square here now. This is going to be my 1-inch square tile. All right, now, boys and girls, you're going to need this, and you're going to need to go round up. If you're looking at your problem set, you're going to need a pair of scissors, a marker, a pencil, an eraser. Now, I'm pretty sure you're going to have those 4 things at home. I'm thinking right now we might not have one of those big erasers, so I might have to make a substitution of something else that I have around the house. It could be anything. I'm just looking behind me. I could do maybe a picture frame or something else about the size of an eraser. That might be too big. So whatever you've got, if you have to make a substitution, make a substitution. Then it's going to ask you to do the length of a worksheet and the width of a worksheet, and then a length of a desk and a width of a desk. So the desk might get a little tricky because I'm about to teach you how to measure and make marks, and we don't want to mark on any furniture ever, okay? So we'll figure that out when we get there. But gather up those things. Pause me while you're gathering up those things and while you're getting your square cut, okay? All right, so you have all your stuff. Let's get started. Right here, I've drawn a line on a piece of paper. And I want to figure out how long that line is. So what I need to do is I'm going to use my 1-inch square, because I know that each side of the square is exactly 1 inch. And I'm going to take my 1 inch and I'm going to hold it right up flush right there so that the edge of my square is right at the edge of my line. And then I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to make a mark there. And then I'm going to slide my tool. And I want to get it now this time lined right up with that tick mark. And I'm going to make another mark. So far we know that this line is 1 inch, 2 inches. Then put your thing back there and make another tick mark. Okay, now we know we're 1 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, and guess what? I, on purpose, drew this line so that it would stop right there and be even with the edge of this square. So how long is this line? It is 4 inches long. That's right. So I'm going to write that under here, 4 inches long, that line. Now, here's what I'm wondering. What should I do if something is not exactly at a whole inch? Because I don't have any other marks or partitions on here to show me where like the halfway mark would be or part of this. So we're always going to either round up or round down. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's pretend that this line, instead of being 4 inches long, was 4 inches and maybe this much. Okay? So after I had measured that 4th tick mark and I see there's a little bit on there, I'm going to put it there. Now, would you say that that line is more than a half of a square or less than a half of a square? Right, it's less than a half of a square. So we're going to round down, and we're going to just still call this 4 inches. And if we wanted to be specific, we could tell somebody, well, it's about 4 inches. Not exactly, maybe a little bit more, but it's about 4 inches. But what if that line was past the halfway mark, but not all the way? So what if I was measuring along and I got to 4 inches, then I put it up here. See what I'm saying? It's like it's a little bit past halfway, a little bit longer than halfway, just a little bit. Well, then I'm going to round up and I'm going to say 5 inches, okay? And I would call that line 5 inches long. So it's about 5 inches. Now, I know some of you guys are very precise and you're going to say, well, what if it's exactly in the middle between 4 inches and 5 inches? Then what do I do? Well, there's a rule that you always, when you get to the exactly in the middle spot, you round up. So if it's right at 4.5 inches, like right in the middle, we'll call it 5 inches today, okay? All right, guys. Now we've done that, we're going to jump right on your problem set, and I'm going to do the first couple with you, and then I'm going to leave you to do the rest of your problem set, okay? So on this problem set today, it wants to know what is the length of a pair of scissors. Now the directions are telling you to measure with an inch tile, and then you're going to record the measurement here. So after each measurement, since it told us the unit, it told us inches, we want to tell it, after we write the number, we want to specify inches. We want to write out the word inches. Sometimes people will just write IN period as an abbreviation. But either way, you've got to put the unit there so people know what you're talking about. Were you talking about 5 inches, 5 centimeters, 5 feet? Because there's so many different units, okay? So each one of these, since you're measuring in inches, we've got to put inches. All right, pair of scissors. Well, I didn't go out and get the kids' scissors. I got the big kitchen shears, okay? And as you can see, they take up almost my whole page. So instead of trying to make marks on the scissors, I thought this. Let me just take a piece of junk paper here. And what if I take my scissors, and again, please use your junk paper. Don't waste brand new good paper. Get paper out of the recycling bin. Get a scrap of something you already had. And what if I just make a tick mark here at the end of the scissors? And what if I make a tick mark here at the point of the scissors? Okay? So that's how long my scissors are. Now I'm going to need a straight edge of some sort. So I'm going to use here's a book or a calendar, something with a nice straight edge to try to draw a straight line in between those 2 points. So now I'm going to do like this. Oh. Okay. Now look what could happen, but it won't mess me up, I don't think. Now, if it was bothering you, you could start over, right, on another scrap piece of paper, but I'm going to ignore this top part where my line goes off like that, and I'm just going to go from dot to dot. So again, I'm going to use my square tile. Where did he go? And I'm going to start at the beginning, and I'm going to put it right there on the edge, and I'm going to start making tick marks. Now remember, when you're counting, you got to count the space between the tick marks as 1 inch. Don't say, okay, 1, 2 inches. No, no, no. 1 inch is this space. So it's best when you're counting up your inches, Where'd that other paper go? Is it on this side? Yes. That you put your finger on the space when you count and you say, okay, 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, almost 5 inches. Don't try to put your finger on the tick marks and count. Count that space in between, okay? All right, so my scissors are, I was drawing it on the back of this. When I have finished using my square tile and I've gotten all the way down to the end, I will count up all my spaces and I'll see how many inches long my scissors were. Then you're going to do the same thing with a marker. Again, you could lay the marker and measure it on a piece of paper first and then make your tick marks on the paper, because it's not really going to work to make the tick marks on the marker. Some people, when let's say you were out somewhere and you didn't have pencil and paper, like maybe I needed to know how long my cell phone case was, but I didn't have a pencil and paper and I had an inch tile, they would say, well, if you're careful, you could put it there and go 1, then you would have to like somehow put your finger there to hold your spot as you move this and go 2. Okay, so that would work too. And then you'd put your finger there again, and then you'd go 3. So this would get you there, but I think it's going to probably be a little bit more accurate when you do it on the paper. But when it comes to measuring the desk, don't you dare make a mark on a piece of furniture in your house, okay? When it comes to measuring whatever desk or whatever piece of furniture you're going to do, you have a couple options, all right? You could, well, I don't even know if you would have a piece of paper big enough to make the end point and end point. Try the method that I just showed you on my mobile phone with your square, okay? And try to just lay it end to end and see how many inches long the desk is, all right? Then when you get to the second page, so you've measured all of these things, when you get to the second page, it's going to ask you about why these two kiddos, they both measured the same thing and they used the same tool, but they got different answers. So it's going to ask you to look at their work and see if you can figure out why one of them is correct and why one of them made a mistake. And I want you in your explanation down here to be real clear with your writing and tell me exactly what you think the mistake was. Like, explain it so I can really see that you know what the mistake was. Okay? So you're going to have those 2 pages of your problem set, and then this is what you're going to do. You're going to have a whole bunch of flashcard pages. Okay? In fact, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but then the 6th flashcard page is actually on the back of a sprint that I'm going to want you to do later on. So I don't know what I'm going to tell you to do about that. I definitely want you learning your subtraction facts. If you have a copy, or maybe make a copy of this page or make a copy of the sprint page, if you're doing, I'd like for somebody at home to quiz you on these, okay? And any of the ones, I want 2 piles. If you know it pretty quickly, it can go in the know it quickly pile. But if it's one that takes you a little bit longer, I want it to go in one that needs to keep being practiced, okay? We want to get as quick as we can with these subtraction facts so that we'll be able, when we move on to next year in 3rd grade math, we'll be ready to just whip out our answers to subtraction. Nothing will slow us down, okay? So today I want those 2 pages. I want you to cut out your subtraction flashcards, and I want you to get somebody to practice them with you. And if they say, well, I'll have to do it later, that's fine. You can practice later. Get some extra math in, okay? Something, all right? All right, guys. Good luck today, okay?